Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel SF with AK. My name is Aman Kumar. I am a 13 times certified Salesforce developer. I am working as Salesforce Tech Lead at Cloudshare. So we are continuing with the series of Winter 25 updates. In my last video, we discussed about UI experience update. In that, we discussed about the warning pane, error pane, and how we can find the child resources more easily, how we can create new variables and resources and constraints, and use them in assignments and create good elements. If you haven't watched the video, please watch that. I put the link in the description. Let's continue with the updates. And today we are going to discuss about screen flow updates. So screen flow is very important part of Salesforce, and there are many enhancements that are coming in Salesforce updates, and I will be discussing a few. And these are very important. Some of these I'm recently started using because for the same things I have been using LWC, and now that these are available in Salesforce flows, I can use that directly. So let's start with provide a better screen flow experience with action buttons. So action buttons were available before, but that was in beta version. Now these are available generally. So let's see, let me show you what the action buttons do and how we can use this. So let's go to the, so I have created this flow and I have added some components here. Let's see. So this is the action button that we are talking about. So this action button can do many things within the same screen. So before it, if we have, let's say I selected an account and I wanted to get the related contact of these accounts, I would have to go to the next, click on the next and go to the next screen. And in that screen, I will be able to get the data using the without using the action button. But now we have the action button that we can use, and we can just click on the button and I can get the data and show in the same screen. So user don't have to navigate to more screens now. We can use the same screen to show the table data or any different component that we want to. And using the action button, we can call any flow or a trigger, or we can do many things from that. It will be we can call a auto launch flow. Let me show you the flow that we just called. So so this is the flow that I called from the action button over here, get related contact, and it just gets the contact and return the same contact values as a variable. And I'm using the same variable to display in a data table. That's how you can use it. Let's continue with the next update. Now we can collect user inputs to modify a list of records from a screen. So you must have used the repeater elements. So repeater element in Salesforce is very useful when we have to use same element multiple times. And even in LWC, we had some, it was not very easy to build, but with the repeater element, we can do that very easily in Salesforce flows. So this is the repeater element that I'm talking about. We can add this element, and in this, we can pass the predefined values or the data that we have in Salesforce. User can update that data, user can add more rows, or user can remove the values. So if you want to have a, if you are giving the access to a partner or some, partner user who has multiple accounts or multiple contacts, and we want them to update the data or, add their contacts, so they can do it directly from here. Let's see this in demo. That I've selected this. I'm just checking the checkbox and let's move on. So this is the element. So those three contacts that we selected in the last screen were displayed here. So I can add more components from here, or I can remove values, and I can delete the data from Salesforce as well, or I can insert the records. So, and there are more options here. So we can now avoid or restrict user from adding the items or removing the items as well. So if I uncheck this checkbox, the remove button will go away. So if I check the add button will go away. This is how we can control what the user can do or when could not do. Now let's move on to the next item. And now we can disable more screen components fields at runtime. So now we can show the disabled items or disabled components on the screen. So let's see. So this is a lookup that I checkbox that I have just used, and using this checkbox I can disable or enable this particular lookup component, and I can keep this disabled at the runtime as well. So when we go back over here, let's go back and rerun the flow so that, yeah. So you see the checkbox was checked as we put the value of the checkbox at default as true, and when the flow loaded, the lookup component was disabled. So if you want to have the lookup, or customer user wants to use the lookup component, you can just disable it, enable it from here, and they can use it. So that's how you can disable more components and easily use that to disable other components as well. So using this checkbox button, I'm disabling lookup account and the action button. Let's move on, and now we have select multiple choice with choice lookup component. So we can now use choice lookup component to just select multiple values. So this is choice lookup in which we can pass multiple values. I'm using a record set that we can get from here. Let me show you. So this is a record set. So I'm just getting all the items that I can find and of a particular account, and we will show those records in choice lookup. And we can select multiple items as well. Now let's go back from the flow again and disable it. Select the account, get the contacts. This is just because I have designed the flow like this. You don't have to do all that. So in the choice lookup, we can see all three contacts that we had are available here, and now I can select all these components. So this works very well and it's very useful for us. Now let's move on to the next one. And now we can deselect data table rows when in single row selection. So like, let's go back to the previous screen, and in this you can see that we have checkboxes now. Before it was if there was single selection enabled, it was not a checkbox but a radio button, but now we have a checkbox and we can enable or disable, or check and check any row. If we want the radio button to be available and not the checkbox, we can just go to the flow and change the setting, the rows, and we can just make it require to make a selection. So if we make it require, it will automatically revert back to the radio button and not the checkbox. Let's see that. Let's see. Run the flow, disable, get the contacts. So you see, we now have the radio buttons and not the checkbox. So in the radio buttons, we could not unselect or uncheck that radio button, but now with checkboxes we can do that. So here we can check, uncheck, and if you want the radio button, we can get that as well. So that was all the updates from my side. Thank you for watching it and have a good day. We will see you in the next video.